Hi, I'm Lauren Hines, and I'm the maker and creator behind Craft Some Joy, and I'm also a Creative Memories Independent Advisor. So today I'm going to take you through what I've learned as products have developed, as I've learned about paper organization and what I need, and what are the things that have really worked with my paper stash, as you can see behind me. And I have finally developed a system that I can say I am at last at peace with my paper. And it is based on the Three Bears formula, which is the Papa Bear, the Mama Bear, and the Baby Bear. So let's jump in and see how we can get our paper stash organized with the Three Bears. So one thing I have learned when trying to find organizers for my paper stash is that the system that I use really needs to be flexible. For now, what I'd like to do is start with kind of my 3 steps. The first one is to become acquainted with your collection, with your stash. As far as your printed and paper patterns, take a visual inventory and really get familiar with what you have and the amount of what you have in your different collections. And the same goes for cardstock. Do you have a lot of just single sheets or do you have a lot of one color? So once you've kind of done a visual inventory, that's step one. The second step is finding the right organizer to help you organize your stash in a way that makes sense to you. Now I'm going to give you my tips and techniques for how I store my collections, and you can see these are the types of collections that I have. But this also is going to vary depending on the type of crafter you are. I'm a scrapbooker, so I have a lot of scrapbooking collections. If you're a card maker, you may not have as much printed and pattern paper as I do, but you may have more cardstock. So you can kind of apply this how you want to based on the type of crafts that you do. No matter what type of crafter, once you become familiar with your stash, you find the perfect organizer, and then you create a system that is easy for you to go back to time and time again to find your product. The one thing that I always seem to come back to for my system in organizing is that I like to keep like with like. So if I have paper embellishments, mat cards, stickers, I like to keep all of those things together in one collection, in one place. So finding the right organizers to help me do that really made finding and getting to the things inside my collection so much easier. And I have a lot of different tips about different types of organizers, as well as a few hacks for you. So let's take a closer look at these different collections. So one of the things that finally was a light bulb that went off for me is that different size collections require different types of organizers. And really they fall into 3 main categories, which I call my Papa Bear sleeves, my Mama Bear sleeves, and my Baby Bear sleeves. And within those categories, there are a few different types of Mama Bear sleeves and also Baby Bear sleeves, and I'll be touching base on some of those. So first, let's start with the Papa Bear. Now, this is my Wanderlust collection, which I absolutely love, and I did purchase quite a bit of this because I had several travel albums that I wanted to use this collection for. So you can see I have quite a bit in this folder. This is called a Power Project folder, and this is made by Creative Memories. And by far, it is the biggest and sturdiest pocket that you can find on the market. They have one big, huge interior pocket and 5 pockets on the outside. It has 3 on the front, 2 smaller pockets, and a long pocket on the top. And then on the back, 2 long vertical pockets, which are perfect for borders and stickers and different things like that. So now let's take a closer look at how I have this collection organized within my Papa Bear folder, within my Power Project folder. And like I mentioned, this pocket holds a lot. And you can see I do have quite a bit of paper for this collection. Now, within my Power Project folder, what I needed to do was start figuring out how to subcategorize. So I had a lot of paper that I had already trimmed down and cut. And I'm not sure if you saw that, but there's this little tab in here that says trimmed. So if I grab that and pull that out, what you will see is that I actually have a Mama Bear folder in my Papa Bear folder. And this is another one of my favorite organizers. And as I mentioned, really the key to keeping everything organized is being flexible. So not everything will work for every collection because each collection is a little different. So this is what I call my Mama Bear sleeve. And basically a Mama Bear sleeve is anything with a gusset. It doesn't have pockets. It doesn't have anything fancy, but it does have a gusset, as you can see. So when you open it, it can actually be quite large and does hold quite a bit of paper. And I'm going to share another way to use this folder. But one of the hacks I have found that I love with this, because this folder has the little tab at the top, is that it is perfect for all my trimmed or my scrap paper within a collection. And what I was finding is that I needed a place to put all of those pieces so that I can go there and use that first before I pull out a full sheet of paper. So you can see I have used quite a bit of different pieces of paper in this collection. And now all of my trimmed paper are all just waiting inside this sleeve. Now to make it fit inside the Power Project folder just easier, and also to make it easier for me to flip through the scraps I have, I took the original pocket, this one, and I just used my trimmer and cut this right-hand side off. So you can kind of see where that folds in as it comes shipped like this, shipped flat. So I just took my trimmer and cut that right off. And that way, now these are open on two sides, like you can see here, and very easy to get into your stash. Now, when I slide this Mama Bear into the Papa Bear, I like to keep the gusset closed. I don't open that. And that just makes it a little easier to go in and out of my big sleeve. Okay, so that's the trimmed paper pocket, which you can then just slide right inside the Power Project folder. You can see how easily that just slides right in. So behind my trimmed paper, I have all my full sheets of paper for that collection. And then what I also have behind that, this is another little fun organizer I found, is this tab that says embellishments. And I actually have two ways I like to store all the little tiny things that end up in my collections. And one thing I learned long ago is that you need to tame the bulge on your paper packs, because when things are bulky and bulgy, it takes up more room on your shelf. So one of the things I found is these scrapbook page inserts. These are 4x4 scrapbook pages. They are supposed to be used like for Project Life or something like that, but I have actually used them for sorting and organizing embellishments that you can see in these pockets. Now you can use even a little thumb notch punch and punch a little thumb notch in these to make it easier to get into them. And then I also just trim off the side that has the 3-hole punch, just so that it is also easier to get into this larger pocket. I put an Avery Ultra tab on the top, and then I just printed out embellishments so I can easily reach in my Power Project folder and pull those out. Embellishments are a big part of most collections, and a way of keeping them flat really does help keep your collections contained. Now, another favorite way of storing embellishments are in these little pockets. And these you'll see over and over. I use these for all kinds of things in my craft room. And they have a flap, and then that just tucks in to a little slot in the front. So you can see I also have more embellishments in here, and this one actually fits pretty nicely just in that top pocket. And then it leaves these other two pockets for mat cards or journal cards that if you want to keep those by size in the front pockets. Now, some of us also like to just create layouts and keep those handy for when we're ready to add them to our scrapbook page. And so once again, I'm using the same folder, the Mama Bear folder with the side cut off. And now this time the tab says layouts on it instead of trimmed paper, or you could use scrap paper, whatever you prefer. And now I have my pre-designed and pre-created layouts waiting in this pocket within the collection. Now, I've had a lot of people ask, Lauren, why do you store these within your collection? And again, it's the whole idea of keeping like with like. So if I'm working on some photos and I go, oh gosh, the Wanderlust collection would work perfectly for these photos, then I will grab my Wanderlust pocket. I'll take a look and go, oh my goodness, I already have some layouts done. Let me see if one of these layouts will work with my photos. So that is why I like keeping my completed pages with my collection so that everything is like with like, and I'm not trying to remember where did I put those layouts. And you can see once again, you can just take that pocket and slide it right inside the Papa Bear folder or the Power Project folder. So let's do one more turn, and you can see on the back side I have my stickers, and I also have some borders, and I'm going to slide this out and also share another fun hack with what I've discovered on getting some of these more intricate things stored away that they don't get caught on other things when you go to add and take things in and out of your pockets. What I did is I actually took the third type of organizer, the baby bear sleeve, and I cut it in half. So this actually comes like this in a pocket. So this is a non-gusset pocket. This is a baby bear sleeve, so there's no gusset on this. And this one has a flap, which I do love the flap on these. So now with that baby bear sleeve cut in half, I can store those more delicate and layered items with ease, and two of them fit just perfectly in one of the back pockets of the Power Project folder. So as you can see, kind of as I've taken you through all the different components and pieces, you really can be flexible with how you store and put away your collections. Now, some of you might be thinking, wow, Lauren, that is a lot of things that you store in a collection. But as I mentioned, there are not that many collections that I go crazy about and have quite a bit of product for. But this is one of those collections, so I did want to share that with you. Now, one thing I also want to mention, in case you're wondering what this tab is on the side, is that when I store my collections, as I mentioned, I store them by theme, but I've also realized I am a vertical organization girl. And so everything are in Michael's Simply Tidy cubes, and they are 16 by 16 cubes, and I store everything vertically so that I can just walk down and look at all the different collections that I have. And so what I needed was a way to label these folders on the side because the other tab is way up here on the top. So this is just a little product I found on Amazon, and it's called a shelf label holder. And it's plastic, and then you can just slide a piece of paper in there with the collection name. And sometimes these do like to stick, and sometimes they need a little extra sticky adhesive to stay on the side of these folders. So now that we've talked about the biggest collection, the Papa Bear collection, and all the things that you can store inside, let's take a look at some smaller collections and how we can organize those. My Mama Bear sleeve. This wonderful pocket from Kaido, which has the little tab at the top. It is also translucent and very pliable. It's a very nice holder. And what I found is that this is perfect for kind of those medium-sized collections. So this is my Wide Open Places collection. And you can see I do not have nearly as much of this collection as I did for Wanderlust. So let's take a look at inside this pocket. And you can see just on the outside, you can see that this does have a gusset. So it does hold quite a bit, even though I don't have this, really packed full. So what you'll notice inside my Mama Bear pocket is that I still, again, subcategorize and have a few other organizers within here. Once again, those little pockets, which I love now because I don't have an exterior pocket on this sleeve, I have my mat cards in just one of these little plastic sleeves. So that can slide in and out, and it also keeps all my mat cards together. The other thing I have in here is, once again, a Mama Bear within a Mama Bear. How about that? Once again, I wanted to have a place to keep my trimmed paper in, paper that I've already used part of, but then also this collection had some delicate laser cuts as well, and then also has some stickers. And so I decided to keep in this collection, again, remember being flexible. In this collection, I was going to keep my trimmed paper, my lasers, and my stickers all in, again, one of the trimmed Mama Bear sleeves. So it has the side trimmed off, and that leaves it easy enough to slide right in to the full-size Mama Bear pocket. Now, behind that, again, are my full sheets of paper. And also in the back is yet another type of baby bear sleeve that I also like to use in my organizers. And this one is the 12 by 12 scrapbook page protector. And this is from Samsil. And you can buy a whole bunch of these. And again, this is something I use in a lot of different ways in my craft room. So this one, I have decided just to keep the 3-hole punch side on it. But again, I wanted to have a place that could protect my completed layouts within my collection. So on this one, since I just had a couple, I decided to slide them in the baby bear, this 12 by 12 scrapbook sleeve, and this can then slide very easily into the back of my Mama Bear sleeve behind my paper. So I always kind of look at the very back of my pockets for any kind of completed pages. Now, some of you may have been noticing I have one more little fun hack that I want to share with you. And these are the beautiful laser borders that come with the Wide Open Places collection. And once again, I have taken that very same 12 by 12 scrapbook page protector from Samsil, but this time I decided to do a little hack. And I have another fun tool that I love to have in my craft room, and it's called a heat sealer. And the heat sealer can be used for so many fun things, including modifying plastic. Anything plastic, you can go to town and modify. So what I ended up doing is I used my heat sealer to create little pockets within that page protector. So you can see kind of as I'm catching the light, do you see those lines right there? These are heat sealed and they are together. Like, so I have created these long pockets that then I can slide in my delicate laser borders and have a place to keep those. So all kinds of fun things that you can do. And again, the key being flexibility with your collections. And so this page protector, I ended up trimming the side off that had the 3-hole punch. And then this can just go right inside my Mama Bear pocket once again. And then I'm just going to put my mat card pocket right back in here as well. And you can see there I've got everything once again organized and kind of contained. So before we move off of the Mama Bear size sleeve, I do want to mention another wonderful pocket that you can get that has a gusset, and I also categorize as a Mama Bear pocket. And this is the Power Simple sleeve from Creative Memories. Now this is the sleeve that sparked my interest to have things open on two sides, because you can see these sleeves actually come with two sides open, and they also have a gusset. Now, the quality of the Creative Memories pockets are just phenomenal, and they are my absolute favorite for projects. So if I'm getting ready to do a page or a border or create a card, or I want to gather supplies together so that I can create with those, this is the first pocket that I reach for. I'm going to be doing several pages. I get a whole stash of these and put my photos in here, my paper, different things, so that everything is ready to go. It's like a little mini page kit. So I love these pockets. And as I mentioned, perfect for organizing your projects in. Okay, so now let's move on to some smaller collections and the baby bear sleeves. And as I mentioned, there are several different types of baby bear sleeves. This is also from Creative Memories, and it is called the Power Simple Pocket. And this is very similar to the Power Simple sleeve. It's made out of the same material, except there is no gusset on this pocket, and it is closed on three sides. This also has a really nice thumb notch up on the top, and it is the perfect size, as you can see, for collections that you do not have very many things for. I just have some paper sheets in here, and then I have two pockets within here for some mat cards and scraps, and then also my embellishments. So these, you can see, just slide very easily right into the Power Simple pocket. And then I also have my stickers tucked in here. But as I mentioned, I really don't have a lot left of this collection. So I don't need a gusset because I have just enough to fill this pocket, and it works just fine being slim. And one of the things I've realized is that it's really important to get a organizer that fits the collection you have. Again, taming the bulge on your shelf. So these are going to take up much less room than even a Mama Bear sleeve, as you can see here. And once again, much less room than the Papa Bear sleeve. But once again, it's all about keeping things flat and condensed so that your shelves don't end up getting too bulky. So you can get these in both clear without a pattern, and they do have this fun Passport to Adventure patterned pocket as well. Now, again, this is another collection that I don't have very many things for, so it fits perfectly in the Power Simple pocket. Now that I've shown you these two types of baby bears, I also just want to revisit what I also categorize as baby bear sleeves. So in addition to the Power Simple pocket, which is a really beautiful pocket to hold your collections, I also have two more types of baby bear pockets. This is another non-gusseted pocket from Kaido. So that's again another type of baby bear pocket. So you can cut this pocket in half and store different things with that within your other types of pockets. This is also the pocket that I choose for my cardstock collections, and you can see how I have them labeled and used here for my different colors of cardstock. So this would be for cardstock that I do have multiples of different types of colors. As a tip, for the cardstock, what I did to give a color visual index of my cardstock, I have used the tab punch from Creative Memories, and I just took a sample from the paper color and punched a tab and then adhered that on with some adhesive. And then again, using the Avery Ultra tab, I labeled the color, and that sits just below the color tab. Now, in addition, when I'm in this mode of organizing my colored cardstock, I also love creating a swatch ring of all my cardstock colors. And this has been going, I have been doing this for over 3 years, collecting all these different colors of cardstock and putting them on a ring. And so I have quite a collection of different colors. But what I love this for is if I am looking for a certain color, they are all categorized and labeled by color on my ring. And so as I get a new color, I will use my Creative Memories tag maker. So this is a tab punch, and this is a tag maker. And I cut a little 2 by 3.5 piece of paper, punch the top so that it has the hole, so I can put it on my ring. And then I will label that with either white or black, depending on the color, so that you can see the different colors on my ring. So I love having just this wonderful color reference of all the different colors of cardstock I have collected over the years. So baby bear sleeves, perfect for organizing and separating your colored cardstock. Now, the last baby bear sleeve, you've also seen a few ways I have been able to use this. And I love having these in my craft room because there's always something that pops into my head that this is the perfect pouch for. This pocket is by Samsil, and it is supposed to be used as a page protector in a 3-ring binder for your scrapbook pages, but I find them so handy for so many other things. As I showed you, you can use a heat sealer, and basically you can create smaller pockets within this larger pocket, or you can just cut the side off and store your completed pages in here because it is a nice quality. It's not too thick and it's not too thin. It's not going to rip. And I do love these for kind of storing completed pages and some other memorabilia and different things within my collections. Okay, so that is the 12 by 12 scrapbook page protector from Samsil. So now that we have gone through a deep dive into different collections, I want to just wrap up once again by saying the way I store my collections is by theme. So I have that spring, summer, fall, and winter. And also I have a travel cubby. I have a kids cubby, kids and baby cubby. And then I also have a cubby that's just general collections that don't really fall within a season or within a theme. And in that cubby, it's very important that I have all of my labels alphabetized. So within my general cubby, if I'm looking for a specific collection, I definitely have that in alphabetical order so that I can find those different collections. And most of those are in the baby bear sleeves because they are much smaller collections. So now that we've talked about themed collections and printed and pattern paper, let's come back around to colors. And color is also a big component of how I like to store and organize my products in my craft room. So for cardstock, it's the very same thing. I also have on the top shelf of all the cubbies in my room are my cardstock and collections by color. And within those different color categories, I also have 2 Papa Bear folders. These are the Power Project folders because they, my friends, hold quite a bit of paper. And these Power Project folders are organized into 2 categories. One are my solids by color and my patterns by color. And so this one you can see I've got all of my pinks in here. I have some small scraps. I have journal boxes tucked into a pocket. I have smaller size cards that can be perfect for matting photos on. And then within the large pocket, you can see I have all of my single sheets and also scraps. I try to keep my scraps up towards the front and my big sheets towards the back right here. And for this kind of collection is when I only have maybe 1 or 2 sheets of a color left, not like what I just showed you, my cardstock collections where I may have several sheets of the same color. But if I only have a couple sheets left, this is the pocket they go into. And so if I'm working on a project and I need pink, I can just grab my pink Power Project folder and have all the different colors of pink cardstock right here at my fingertips. Now on the back side, again, it's the same kind of pocket format. So this is perfect for strips or longer pieces of cut paper. And then the front is perfect for journal boxes and mat cards. Now, in addition to colored cardstock, I found I had a lot of patterned paper by color, as you can see here. And some of these were just from different paper packs that I had collected over the years. And this way, I have it organized in the very same way with mat cards and journal cards and a few little scraps. Most of my cut paper in the front and then my larger sheets in the back. And then again on the back side, strips and any of the smaller pieces of long paper. So all of my different colors, I have folders, the Power Project folders, the Papa Bear folders for all of my colors as well. Now I just want to mention a little note about blue. Blue was the one color that I seem to have an explosion of in my craft room. So I actually have 4 Power Project folders for blue. I have light blues and I have dark blues, both solids and prints. And that was the one exception that I have for my paper. But you can see with the Power Project folders, the Papa Bear folders, they hold a lot of cardstock. I love this system for containing all of those miscellaneous sheets, and it works so well. And these sit right next to my smaller Baby Bear folders that are by color category. Now, while we're on the topic of color, I also want to mention sometimes I have collections that really are color specific. So you can see a couple of them here. This one is called Radiant Reds, and this one is Totally Tonal Red and Orange. When I have collections like this, once again, the Baby Bear pockets are the perfect size for organizing this. But instead of putting these within my pattern paper, I like to keep these collections together. And so they go in my color categories as well, but they are kind of standalone collections. So I do have these intermixed within my color section in my paper storage. As I was going through and looking for different colors of paper, I also realized within my color categories that I needed to alphabetize. So now just having everything in alphabetical order, it's a breeze to walk up and see if I have a certain color on my shelf or if I need to order some more. So now that we've talked about all the colors of the rainbow, let's also talk about those outlier colors like our neutrals, white, black, and that ever elusive rainbow. So what I've decided to do with my paper stash is actually just categories in those different color specifics. So I have a white section, a black section, and neutrals, and that also includes my section of grays and different shimmer papers that are in the gray category. And last but not least, I also have a texture section, and I like to keep those grouped together in their own little cubby as well. One last little topic I also want to mention is where do you keep your scraps? And there are a million different ways I have seen on how to organize your scraps. But one thing I needed was kind of a small contained box that I could just use for when I needed to just make a punch of a certain color, and just the smallest of small scraps. So I took one of the storage boxes from Creative Memories and then created just little folders by color that I could use within this box. So you can see the size of scraps that I have in here, and they are pretty small. So they have to fit within this 5 by 7 inch framework here. But if you can also take a look, you can see how bulky all these little tiny pieces were adding to my paper stash. So being able to kind of grab all of these bulkier small pieces and contain them within a box really helped tame my bulge for my cardstock colors. So I love my little scrap box. I know there's a lot of different ways that you can store and use your scraps, but once again, this works really well for me and keeps everything kind of tidy and contained in one area. So if you've enjoyed taking a look at all the different types of organizers and systems and remembering that flexibility is key, you may want to pick up my paper organization tip sheet download that I've created, and it has all my favorite products and how to use them all conveniently located in one place. I'll go through how I have my stash organized, and once again, where you can find all the things that I've talked about in this video. So until next time, I hope you take time to craft some joy and have fun organizing. See you again soon.